Some people are probably subconsciously aware. They've never tried something because they've always thought, no, I would never be good at that because of this. Because if we believe that thought, that negative thought, we eventually are fulfilling that prophecy, because most of the time you'll find that, no, these aren't true. And it's simply getting over that hurdle and overcoming that to then really reach your full potential, to really then start working on it and getting better. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that could be a little bit full on, but it's something that I'm really, really passionate about. It could be a little bit airy-fairy, I don't know. It's called limiting beliefs. I don't know if many of you guys are familiar with that term before, but again, it's something that I'm pretty into. I'm very passionate about because it's one of the biggest challenges in my life. And I think if I hadn't have overcome something like this, then I wouldn't be here today. What is a limiting belief? Okay. Limiting belief is basically a thought process that isn't quite fact, but it's a thought process in your mind that basically stops you from doing what you want to do. Let me give you an example of that. So, for example, a limiting belief for me could be because I'm short, right? I'm not like 6 foot. I'm not like that short, but I'm not. I'm your average kind of shorter guy, you know, being Asian. But a limiting belief is, say I want to get good at basketball. It could be like, I'm short. I'm like what? Like I'm not going to be good at basketball because I'm not tall. Number one, there's no true evidence to say that short people can't be good at basketball, right? Or they can't improve. How many tall people out there that you see, they're like, oh, he must be a basketballer, that guy, but he's probably the most clumsiest dude ever. Or chances are he doesn't do sport at all. And I'm always just like, what a waste of height. But you see what I'm saying? The limiting belief is something like that. And quite often, it's one of those things where people don't ask the question, why? Like, why can't someone short be good at basketball? Like, and straight away, it blocks them almost. It stops them from even trying. Because I believe the more you do something, like it's just evidence that you'll get better at something, right? The evidence is that the more you try and the more you work on it, you'll get better. And you ultimately can be good at basketball if you're not 6'7", 7 foot tall, that kind of thing, right? Height is an advantage for sure, but smaller people can definitely be good at basketball. Like some of the best point guards are smaller. Not in the NBA. We're not talking about the NBA. We're just talking about just life in general and just sport and the game of basketball. But yes, that's what I'm saying is that's a limiting belief holds someone back from getting good at something or wanting to even try something, right? But my biggest thing is knowing what that limiting belief is. Like some people are probably subconsciously aware. They've never tried something because they've always thought, no, I would never be good at that because of this. I think number one, it's good to actually be aware of that. And actually, I know that that's a limiting belief because a lot of the time they don't. So me basically raising this topic and talking about it is something that I really hope that if you're listening, that you're like, ooh, maybe I have a limiting belief, right? The second one is actually questioning it and questioning why you have that limiting belief. Say it's you're short and you're not going to be good at basketball. It's like, says who? Says society? Says like the stereotypical, oh, if you're tall, you're good at basketball. Like, where does that limiting belief come from? Yeah. Because if we believe that thought, that negative thought, we eventually are fulfilling that prophecy and limiting your potential in personal growth, being good at something or getting better at something, and, you know, working on that skill. Not everyone is born being I mean, there are people that are gifted, yes, but 100% the people work on a skill. The only way you get better at something is by working on it. So if you stop there at that limiting belief, you're ruining all your chances of being able to be good at something. And that's how I reckon that we should all look at anything to do with limiting belief, is asking, where does that come from? Asking the question, why do I believe it? And what evidence do I have that this is true? It's a true fact. It's never a fact. It's always a limiting belief. And how is that limiting belief holding you back from really achieving your full potential? Look, there are different names for limiting belief. Fixed mindset is probably something that you've probably heard of, rather than a growth mindset. And that's why this whole topic is so important to me. I mean, as a father, having kids, you're always wanting them to be as resilient as possible and having that growth mindset, especially in my case. How often do you hear your kids say, I suck at that, I'm not good at that, or I can't do it? My biggest thing that I love to do is twisting that from just saying, I'm not good at that, period, like full stop, the end, to adding a yet to it. So I'm not good at it yet. For me, it makes a whole world of difference, and it's kind of opens up my kids' thinking, and it should be opening up everyone's thinking, that it doesn't just stop at that. A limiting belief is not a fact. There's no evidence. It's simply a limiting belief that's most of the time is something that's come from your environment or outside of your thought process, but people aren't aware of it. I'll give you a big example of why I'm here today, and that's because I was able to identify a limiting belief. And my limiting belief was when I was 30, before I started Light My Bricks, I thought I was too old to start a business. You mean, I was married, I had kids, I had a really comfortable job, it was cruisy, I was earning good money, I had a mortgage to pay. And my thought process and my limiting belief at that time was, you don't do that at this age. Like, it's irresponsible to start it. Why would I start a business? I'm too old. I should have done that ages ago when I didn't have this many responsibilities. But my passion for Lego helped me break out of that. It helped me see a world of possibilities, and I had a passion for providing value. And because I was so passionate about Lego and bringing Lego to life and display and all that kind of thing, that basically made me think about this limiting belief and going, where does it come from? Who says that I'm too old? Like, is it because my environment, my family, or outside my circle, or people? It's just society says you got to have it all. Like, your social media, all these young entrepreneurs, these business founders, they started in their 20s. That wasn't a fact for me, in a sense that you can't start a business because you're 30 and you've got kids and all that kind of thing. For me, that was the limiting belief. And overcoming that was the biggest hurdle, because I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't broken out of this box. That limiting belief was my box. It was the Kenny box, and I had to leverage my passion and create a way to break out of it. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, and that's why I'm so wanting everyone to have a think and reflect. And if you're watching this and you're still watching, that's good. At least I've retained you for this amount of time. But I would ask yourself this. I would ask yourself, do you have a limiting belief? Is there something that you want to do, but you haven't, because there's something in your mind that's telling you you're too old, or you're not confident enough, or you can't speak English well enough, or I'm just giving these examples, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not confident enough, all these kind of things. Like, there's so many of them. Am I too awkward in front of the camera, or I'm not smart enough? These are all limiting beliefs that are blocking you from really, really achieving your full potential. My homework for you guys is this. Have a think about it, review, reflect, and think about one limiting belief that's stopping you from doing something. Number 2 is ask yourself, where does this come from? Where does these thoughts come from? Why? What evidence is there, like facts, to say that this negative belief is true in your case, because most of the time you'll find that no, these aren't true, and it's simply getting over that hurdle and overcoming that to then really reach your full potential, to really then start working on it and getting better. I mean, I love to talk about this. I love the idea of helping people on identifying their little box that they're in, but maybe I'll save that for another video. That's good. I think to keep this one simple is simply just getting you guys to think about, and I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Like, tell me, what is one limiting belief that you have, and why do you believe it? Just ask those questions, and the moment you can identify and kind of realize that these aren't your thoughts, these are other thoughts or society's thoughts or whatever it is, mate, it's going to open up a world of opportunities for you. Let me have a look at a quote that I was having to think about this, but basically I want to end it with, these limiting beliefs is quite often a story that you choose to believe. Change the story, change your life. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Again, I'll repeat that again, that life's a journey. Limiting beliefs are your story. In order to really succeed at life, you got to change that story. Change that limiting belief. Tackle it straight on. Ask these questions. Overcome it. Break out of your box. And you will be able to create a way to live your ultimate life through your passions. Well, that's what I did. So thank you again for joining in. Thank you for watching this whole time. I really appreciate it. I hope that you get something out of this. Let me know in the comments below. Send me some love, like, subscribe, and I'll be sure to give you more of these insights and nuggets and thoughts and sharing of my journey being an entrepreneur and now living the life I want to live and being able to give back to every one of you all. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the other side. Create a way.